Good evening, Citizen Ewa here. This video here, right here, welcome to Citizen Ewa, the platform where we speak truth to power. Before we go further, I'd urge you to please subscribe to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Here's how you can help us. Please go to YouTube and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Click on the button, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. The reason I say that is because Facebook are not being helpful. They're keeping the numbers down. They're taking us off the list of people that will be, so you will not be getting reminders about also when we come live. So they're trying to bring it down. That's okay. But listen, normally I wouldn't be focusing so much on what the contraption is doing. But I want you to hear the litany of lies told by the fraudulent governance about how they have the guts to tell us that the country is doing well, that the so-called president, we don't know which one it is, that president or whatever, the audio president or whatever, has done well. Listen to one of the governors of APC governors telling us this nonsense. Have a listen.
A full of that interview on the state of the nation, promises made by the APC, and whether or not they have fulfilled it. Take a listen to Governor Badaro. The question a lot of people are asking again is whether or not you are optimistic that your party will not disintegrate after the President Buhari's tenure. And the question again that you need to answer is whether or not your party has been able to live up to the expectation based on the promises you made at the campaign.
Well, I assure you, given the circumstances, President Badaru has done very well.
Governor Badaru telling you this nonsense. Abubakar Badaru.
In the face of the performance,
now let me tell you,
would you say based on the promises?
He has done excellently well.
Can you hear?
First of all, the economic.
Can you hear that? He has done excellently well. Are these guys serious? Like I said, normally I wouldn't bother because my focus is on referendum now. But we need to challenge, and this is yet more reasons that we need to put forward to argue and justify our reasoning for going for referendum now. If they cannot even admit, even now, that they've done wrong, and they continue with this lie, that's more justification on why we have to go for referendum. And we call on all Southerners to join hands. Now is not the time for division among Southerners. We need to join hands and clamor for referendum. If need be, take it to court. We're hearing that they might be trying to postpone the 2023 elections now because they want the president to sign it. They might be playing a game. Don't fall for it. All we know is we want a referendum. Listen on.
Crash. We were making 1/3 of what they were making. And look at the infrastructure that we have.
Well, Governor, some will say, look, you met the economy and not as bad, but because of inaction, those are allegations that because of inaction, the government didn't take action. And that's why the economy slipped.
It's not an inaction.
Can you hear?
For over 6 months, no cabinet members. Those are the
she'll tell me.
You see, this is nonsense. Can you hear this nonsense?
On $140 a barrel oil for years together, and that price collapsed within short time when we come in to around 30 or 28, is it, before it gradually started picking up. And that economy has no reserve to take care of what is happening. What miracle could have happened?
You see?
Is
you see this nonsense?
The person that causes that to happen?
Can you see this nonsense?
Be happy with falling oil prices? Did he cause that? What were
the nonsense
built by previous leaders when we were making money to absorb this shock if it happened?
Well, President Buhari
Can you see this nonsense?
Promised that they were going to fix it, and that's why they were elected.
Yes.
You said you were going to get the job done.
And that is why we get out of recession, despite the terrible situation that we are in.
Can you believe this nonsense?
That is why we do more infrastructure than what they did with the kind of money they get.
What infrastructure? What infrastructure exactly? Have you seen the roads in Lagos? Have you seen the roads in Ogun State? Have you seen the roads in Ogun? Have you seen the roads in the Middle Belt? Have you seen the roads in the East? This is why we need to go for referendum now. I'm just saying so that we're all aware that we have to challenge their lies. We've had enough of this nonsense. We need to go our own way.
but a lot of Nigerians are unemployed.
There you go.
33% of them are out of jobs.
Did you hear that? 33%. 33% unemployed.
If we start telling you the job we've created, it has never been created before. But
Can you see the excuses? He's not even answering the question. If we start, can you see? This is why we must go our own way. Referendum now.
the figures say the different thing.
The figures say different things because of the population growth.
Well, I mean, because our population is growing about 4%. But the big question here, Your Excellency, is that inflation figure is rising, employment figure is rising. In fact, that's doubled compared to when you got into government. The issue of food prices had gone astronomically. Price of common commodity like rice is crazy in the market
Thank
today.
you.
Now,
They don't want to face those facts.
It's an economy that is import dependent before we come in. Completely import dependent.
You see?
And our
and what did you do to fix it?
Is in the sales of crude oil. We were selling crude oil at one.
And what have you done to fix it?
140 per barrel. And we were using that dollar to import almost everything we need. Then suddenly prices crash.
You see?
Our demand and test and import value did not fall, but the dollar revenue fall down.
You see?
And we have no reserve to get dollar from to finance our import. What do you expect? Was sharp decrease in dollar available for import.
Let's go for referendum. We should not be in the same country with this bunch of crooks.
Dollar prices must go up.
We should not be in the same country with this bunch of crooks.
An import-dependent economy, it's fueling inflation. And no miracle will change that. Talk to all the economists in this world.
Can you hear?
The Buhari government is the best thing that has happened to
Excuses.
They have done well, given the circumstances.
Look, judging, you know how you judge if a government has done well? When there is 24/7 electricity for the citizens, there's water, there's road, there's hospital, there's schools, there's safety and security. On what I've just listed, you watching me, have they done well? Don't go on what I'm saying. What are you feeling on ground? Leave comments as you're watching this podcast. Thank you. Let's watch on.
Or could have done better?
I don't think so. There is no miracle to change these things. Tell me.
You think?
No, listen. If you are used to spending, giving your wife every day 200 naira.
Can you see this nonsense?
Because you are earning 200 naira. And you are not saving. Then suddenly you fall sick. You earn nothing. And you give her nothing. And you have no savings. What could have happened? This is the situation Buhari finds himself.
Can you see this nonsense?
We are spending so much without saving.
You are spending, and what are you spending?
And prices collapse.
You are spending. The government has spent money paying the crooks in power. The pay of workers have been down, has not been increased. There has been no infrastructural development whatsoever. There is no electricity. There is no hospital, no healthcare, no water, no light, no road, no schools. And these guys sit down here, and this is why we need to go for referendum now. I am pointing this to us all, pointing this out to us all, and we should all take heed of this. This is fraud that we must confront. Listen on.
Is it because maybe your party sold to Nigerians that you were miracle workers and you sold hope to Nigerians and people are now expecting based on what you promised and you're not able to deliver based on the promises?
But we did very well.
You see, we did very well what? It's a lie. You didn't do well.
Well, based on the promise. Who expect oil prices to crash the way they crash? Who expect that? Nobody. No.
That's not the point. What about, let me put this in there. I'm going to put a picture up, you will see. What you see above that man here is something called bitumen. Now, bitumen is something we have a lot of in contraption Nigeria. I want to put this into all of my broadcasts as much as possible. In Ondo State, for example, the second largest reserves of bitumen in the entire world, yes, second largest, 42 billion tons is what we have in Ondo State. Plus we have in Ogun and Eko, Ogun State and Eko State. Yes, Eko State. We have that. These people are importing. They imported from Canada, US, UK, Spain, Italy, France, Singapore, Malaysia, South Africa, Mexico, and Brazil. Can you imagine this nonsense? And they're telling us we've done well. We've done well. This is a bunch of lies. They could have, with the bitumen you see above him, that could create millions of jobs right there. And we would have good roads. But they are deliberately impoverishing us. So they have not done well at all. They haven't. Let's listen on to the lie.
Not even the world economy. We expect it to go, read what they say, the projections.
The question is that what have you done to reverse the trend? As your government,
that is what we do. The first in history, 2021, we earn more in other incomes.
And where is the money? Where have you spent the money then? You said you earned more. So that's an admission now. You earned more. Where's the money gone? What have you spent it on?
Then oil income in 2021. For so many years, 30, 20, 40 years together, oil income is always higher than other incomes. But 2021, no.
You know that is a lie. Because of all prices that you just said, you cannot win, you cannot eat your cake and have it. You cannot argue that the price of oil is down, and then suddenly because of that now, other income has become more. And that's how, it's a lie. It's a freaking lie. Listen on to this bunch of lies.
We earn more from other income than in oil. That is the trend. And we try to expand, diversify, and we try to...
So explain to us why bitumen, which we have, the second largest in the entire world, is being imported. Yes, you need to explain to us, Mr. Governor Badaru, Abubakar Badaru. Yes, explain to us. Come and explain that to us. Let's listen on to the lie.
Do import substitution to reduce the volume of import, so we preserve the dollar, and look at our imports.
They are importing the things that we have in our own land. They are importing resources that we have in our own land. These guys are, this is why we need to leave. We have to separate from contraption Nigeria. Referendum is the only way to go. That constitution is a fraud. These guys are impoverishing citizens in our own land, refusing to create jobs. Those mineral resources would create jobs and also can be used to improve our roads, to improve many of our infrastructures. But no, they just want to oppress and suppress and take our land. It's time Southerners wake up.
Export balance now, non-oil export, it's increasing slowly.
It's a lie. This is the lie. In 2021, March 2021, these people imported 4 million tons of 4 million tons of bitumen. Remember, we have 42 billion tons. Billion. It's time we woke up. We must dismantle contraption Nigeria.
It's not something. And also...
Let me, give me a minute. I want you to see it yourself. I don't want to just talk it. I want you to see it yourself. And then you come and tell me. See? So don't come and say Citizen Network is saying. See? In the middle of this broadcast. You see? Now, I want to, there's one more. Ooh. Where did I put it? Okay. So 300 billion was spent. But I know as of 2021, March 2021, they imported 4 million tons. And this man is sitting there talking this nonsense. It's time we woke up. Let's go.
Check out the import substitution that we do. in all the ranges of products that President Muhammad Buhari support the country to produce. Rice today, we are not importing.
It's a lie.
We save that foreign exchange.
It's a lie.
We are working on sugar.
It's a lie. It's a lie. They've killed all our farmers that could have increased rice production. They've destroyed our farms. And all they're doing is to try and grab the land. All of this is lies. Do not fall for it. Our farmers have not been compensated. Our people are starving. The price of rice is 30,000 naira minimum. Something people used to get for 8,000 naira and below.
Big time. We're actually working on wheat. Big time. Sesame. All sort of cocoa. Everywhere. We are improving.
Improving what? Improving what? Improving what? Nonsense. These are a bunch of lies that we must confront. These are justification for why we're going for referendum now. We urge you all. You have the right, Southerners in particular, Middle Belt, Biafrans, Yoruba, Oduduwa people, we have the right to self-determination. The bunch of lies spewed out by these guys are reason enough for us to go for self-determination. And nobody else will do it for us. We must stand together as Middle Belt, as Yorubas, and as Biafrans, and go for self-determination. And call for referendum. Make sure, by lawsuit, if necessary, pressure, public pressure from the collective Southerners to ensure that no election takes place other than first a referendum. That's what we must do.
Other export, so that we will have a diversified economy. And that is what's supposed to be done before us.
But you didn't do it.
Listen, you see, Saudi, when the oil prices hit, they had close to 800 billion in reserve. So it's easy for them when they have shortfall of 2 billion.
And when you and you guys were spending billions of our money in useless things, putting us into Organization of Islamic countries, wasting the money. Where's the billions spent on electricity? You guys are, look, I'm talking the entire fraudulent construction called Nigeria. You guys, including those Abacha leaders, Babangida, they looted from us and they have not been made to pay. So you are making excuses, lies upon lies. We don't buy it. We want referendum now.
From the reserve field and maintain their currency. We had no that luxury.
You didn't have that luxury because you know why? You are impoverishing us in our land. They don't have what we have, and that's a fact. That's why you got the picture. You see the picture behind me? Those are the resources in our own land. Gold, bitumen, marble, bauxite, phosphate, oil, gas, gypsum, gemstone, and so on and so on. Over 40 mineral resources. There is no excuse. These guys are a bunch of crooks. We need to go for referendum now.
Do you think that Nigerians understand what you're saying? Because
they do. The elites
so?
do. The elites like you do, but you are not selling that.
The elites do. Really? You are impoverishing us. You are impoverishing us. These guys are bunch of crooks.
To the people.
No, you are the ones who stole. Is it the work of the elites?
Can you see now? He's trying to blame some other people. They are the ones who created this mess.
You're the political class that sold.
What he's trying to say is that when he says elite, he means the press. He doesn't want to say press, so he used another word, elite, to try and bring in the press and say the press should sell the. You guys made the mistake. You guys, not mistake. You guys committed this fraud, and you don't want to face it. Enough of this nonsense. We are going for referendum now.
At the time of this government, Ekonje-Iweala had mentioned that this is what is expected in the economy because she was worried that we should save and we refuse to save.
But I mean, some people will blame the governors' forum.
Exactly. See?
It was the governors at the time. I said, what are we saving?
You see now he's laughing. This is why we need to go.
The money and let us spend.
Well, you remember that is also
so we
true.
Could blame the
you see? Oh, that is also. You see, he hasn't got an answer. That is also true. This is nonsense. Southerners, Middle Belt, Biafrans, Oduduwa people, it's time we go our own way. We have to separate from this contraption. It's an enslavement camp. These guys are looting our money, oppressing and suppressing us. Again, I will show you that picture. We got 42 billion tons of bitumen in its various forms. You see, it's in our land. Our roads are bad, but yet these guys are importing 4 million tons every year. Do you know how much money that is being wasted? Be aware, that is the fraud, and they are paying themselves for doing nothing. More and more money every year. The bill in our budget to service the cost of governance is going up and up and up. The bill for education is down. The bill for infrastructure is down. The bill for healthcare is down. The bill for job creation is down. And these guys, look, we need to go. We can say we can do this ourselves as individual nations. Yoruba Nation, Biafra, Middle Belt. The resources you see behind me is in our soil. These guys are denying us by way of that 68 exclusive items in that fraudulent constitution. We demand a referendum. We need to work together to go for a referendum. Referendum is our get out from this slave camp that we're in. 42 billion tons. Billion. This is as important as gold. Many countries don't have this. We have the second largest quantity in the entire world. I won't be surprised if they're already taking it out and selling it back to us. The poor thinking. 33% unemployed, and we can't create mining of those three of bitumen in those three states to create millions of jobs and update and manage our own infrastructure and maintain it. Talking this nonsense here.
That is all true, but the leaders shouldn't have allowed also. And at that time, majority of the governors also are PDP.
You see now.
The question now is that when you go to the campaign in 2023, how are you hoping to tell Nigerians that, oh, we sold you this and we sold you this, we could not achieve this, but vote us again? Do you think Nigerians will vote your party again?
Whatever you do with the fear of God.
You see, what is that? How is that? We don't care about your fear of God. That means nothing. The people is what you are oppressing the people. This fear of God, they use it to try and hoodwink you. Oh, I'll play this. Nonsense. These guys, the same people, if they had the fear of God, they would not be looting. These guys don't have the fear of God. The looters do not have the fear of God in them. They are looting our money and telling us to be quiet. Enough of this nonsense. Listen to him. Listen.
Whatever you do sincerely, very well, God has his own way of showing the people the kind of character and what you have.
And we know you are all a bunch of fraud. You see, when they ask a tough question, God, who cares about your God? We only want infrastructure and you haven't provided it. You promised you would fix electricity in 6 months. We are in 2022. This was in 2015. Soon 8 years. Where is it? And whatever you do, fear God. Nonsense.
Have done and what you have sacrificed yourself to be.
You see, this
I'm
nonsense.
sure we will tell the people.
You see,
and they will understand. This.
You see, that's the lie again. They will come with that lie. Pray to God. God will help Nigeria. Nigeria is oppressing Southerners in our land. We are slaves in our land. We need to separate from contraption Nigeria.
Circumstances. Because I believe President Muhammad Buhari run this government with the fear of God.
Fear of God you guys have no fear of God. If you did, you would make sure that 33 if you had the fear of God in you, there will not be 33% of the population unemployed. You don't have any fear of God. It is a lie. It is a blatant lie. You are all a bunch of failures, and we demand for a referendum, and we want to go, and we will go, and we must work together. I urge my southern brothers collectively. Now is not the time for us to be bickering. We need to come together. We need to work together and separate from this contraption. Again, I'm telling you, I keep showing this picture. 42 billion tons of bitumen. And these guys are importing every year what we have. That's a waste of money that could be used to fix our infrastructures. And it could create jobs. We could create mining. We could start mining those 3 areas where there's major collections of this and create jobs and use what we mine to update and maintain our roads and the other infrastructures that would need that resource. Enough of this talk. We must go our separate way. I'm giving you clear evidence.
And run this government to the best of its ability.
What ability? They've run the country to the ground. They are oppressing us. The agenda is Fulanization agenda, and we must resist it. We must break this contraption down. Referendum now. No, we are not interested in 2023 elections. It's a fraud. Now they're saying they want to move it. They're trying to play a game. All we want is we want concrete, a referendum. A referendum is what we want, and we must work towards that.
And he sleeps and wake up with the common man in his heart.
No, he doesn't. If he had the common man in his heart, there wouldn't be 33% of the population unemployed. Let's look at 33% of the population. 210 million and 33%. Yeah? Okay. So that is like 60, 70 million. Okay, let's have a look. Let me just give you round numbers. Okay. So watch this now. Watch this. So out of 210 million people, yeah? 210 million. Let's say 210 times 0.33. Let me just get, 600 and, we're talking about 63 million. 63 million people. 63 to 70, and that is even being conservative. 63 to 64, close to 70 million. Let's say round figure, 70 million. I'm not, I'll just give it 33 like that. But I'm trying to tell you that this is what we're faced with. This bunch of failures, we need to go our own way. We must separate from this contraption. Referendum now. Middle Belt, Yorubas, Middle Belt, Yorubas and Biafrans. It's time we work together to separate. We must work together to encourage the people to go for self-determination. And we need to create vigilante. We need to encourage them to have more vigilante groups to protect their land. The resources you can see these resources in the land is what they're after. What you see behind me are the resources that these crooks in power are after. They want to take our land and oppress us and enslave us in our land. We must resist it.
Improve the life of the common man. That much I know.
He has not.
Because of that,
he has not improved it. He's impoverished us. He has impoverished us. 33% of the population are unemployed, and you're telling me he has improved it. It's a blatant lie.
People will see the sincerity.
It's a blatant lie. I'm sorry, I'm so passionate about this right now. It's a blatant lie.
If people don't understand, because it is in the nature of voters not to be patient with government in power, and we've seen this happen. In France, it has happened. In America, it has happened. Even in the UK, it happens over and over again. People vote at government, not because the government is not doing well, but because voters, in their nature.
We don't want any vote at this point. What we want is a referendum, because the very basis of that election is fraudulent. The basis of any election that is bound to take place, that they're planning to take place now, is fraudulent, because the Constitution itself is a promulgation decree number 24 of 1999, which is a fraud. At no point did the people collectively have a referendum to decide to accept or reject that Constitution or make changes to it. So we are not interested in any attempt or any talk of elections based on this current fraudulent promulgation decree number 24 of 99 Constitution. It is a promulgation decree. The people's voice has not played any role in putting this forward as our Constitution. This is an imposition. I hope you all understand that. Listen on.
They are not patient. If Nigerians are not patient with your party and they vote out your party in 2023, how would you be? What would you say to that?
It's their own choice.
Do you see this happening?
No.
You see, the problem is, this is why we cannot allow 2023 to take place without clamoring strongly, collectively, as Southerners, standing together as one and going for referendum now. Because if we do, the election is already rigged. The so-called Independent National Electoral Commission, it is not independent. It is not independent. They put in the word independent national, so you think it's independent. It's a lie. This is a Fulani organization. They are going to the freest and fairest elections has been one and only elections, the June 12, 1993 elections, and they snatched that away from us. Any election since then has all been fraudulent. That is why we must go for a referendum. We need to renegotiate and decide to go. We have to go our own separate way. We can no longer be part of this contraption.
And there's a possibility that your party is being voted out.
I don't see this happening.
Because the PDP is saying they want to come back and rebuild this country. That your party has destroyed this country.
From where?
That your party has
inherited already a dead country. We resuscitated it. What are you saying? Shegu, you know.
Can you hear the lies? I hope you are following this. This is why we're saying enough of this nonsense. Probably will end up I might not even listen to the end because this is so frustrating. But what are your views? Both, look, the bitumen I showed you from the government of Obasanjo downwards. In fact, even before that, they all know we have the resource. And instead of using our resource to create jobs and keep our people, make the lives of our people better, using our own resources, we go and import resources that we have already. Can you see how insane that is? Do you see how insane that is? We have 42 billion tons of bitumen, and they are going to they're importing 4 million tons yearly. Can you see how insane that is? I hope you are you see what I'm saying anyway. Now let me let's
the state of the economy when we come. For God's sake, 26 states were not paying salaries.
And you know why? Because you are busy paying yourselves. The budget is evidence. The biggest bill we face are the bill of the member of the legislative. The bill keeps the cost keeps going up every year. And there's nothing to show for what they're doing. It's nonsense.
When we took over, 26. Even then, they were earning close to $80 a barrel.
And how many states are being paid now? How many? It's a bunch of lies.
26 were not paying salaries.
You don't think your party can lose this election?
I don't think so.
You see?
I don't.
The only way he's so sure about that is because it's going to be rigged. We are not interested. We have to go for referendum. Referendum is the only way out. Middle Belt, Biafrans, Oduduwa people, wake up. We must go for referendum. Encourage our people to go for self-determination. Let's make sure we have more vigilante groups to protect us, to protect the resources you see behind us. Because these guys want to oppress and suppress us. Enough of this nonsense.
I think so.
If it happens, what would you do?
Because it will never happen. Because I know the people know what is happening. And they know what PDP has done.
Both PDP and APC, both PDP and APC are both fraudsters. They cannot be relied on. Either party, they failed us. In fact, they are working together to oppress and suppress citizens. Every time you pray for one Nigeria, you are praying for the continual enslavement of Southerners in our own land. Stop praying for one Nigeria. Stop praying for one Nigeria. Enough of this nonsense.
And they will never vote PDP again. I tell you.
Even if the likes of Atiku Abubakar run,
it is time for Yorubas, Middle Beltans, and Igbos to stand on our own and in our own nations. We can trade with the Fulanis and the Hausas who will stand as Arewa in their own land, but we are going to be independent. We will dictate our own future. We are not putting our own future and our own destiny in their own hands, not any longer. Our destiny must be in our own hands. We must take control of our future and the future of our coming generations.
What I said is, they know with clear conscience what we stand for.
You're a bunch of crooks. Bunch of crooks. That's what you stand for. Crooks, looting, oppression, suppression, impoverishing your own people. That's what you stand for. Bunch of lies.
And they have the history of what transpired from 1999 to date, and they will vote us back to power because they know we are.
You are both unreliable, both APC and PDP. None of you are reliable. We are going. Referendum is the only solution. The constitution is a fraud.
Committed to their cause.
Because if the likes of Atiku Abubakar, an experienced, but he's been a former vice president, you think your party can stand a chance in the shape of someone like Atiku Abubakar and the rest?
Very much so.
Aminu Tambuwal?
Very much so.
We don't want either of them. We don't want PDP. We don't want APC. We want referendum. We don't want PDP. We don't want APC. All we want is referendum. The constitution remains a fraud. It is a promulgation decree number 24 of 1999. Enough of this nonsense. Southerners, wake up.
Certainly, Shehu.
All right. Thank you so much, Governor. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Can you see the nonsense? So, ladies and gentlemen, just to cap it off, I want to put this to you. This is what they have denied us. I'm going to try and get you that information because it is not, I don't take this lightly when I say this. I showed you earlier on. If you go and look at the broadcast I did on Oduduwa TV Radio this afternoon, you will see that as well. I'm going to try and see, I want to just try and show you something if I can find it. Because this is oppression and suppression. I just to put this in, into very strong perspective. Let me see, Citizen AY. Okay. Let me just see if I can find this for you. I just want to get this. Because you see, if we do not wake up, these guys will continue to lie to us and we will continue to suffer at their hands. We have the power to change the course of the future of the coming generation. We mustn't accept this injustice any longer. Let's have a look if I can find it. Here we go. Is that the one? That's it, I think. Let's have a look. I might be able to. Oh, that's it. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that one. Let me see. Let me see if I can get one more. No. Sorry, it's not that one. Okay. Don't worry. So, anyway. So, what I want you to know is that your government, they are spending $300 billion a year importing resource that we already have by the bucket load. By the bucket load. And this is crazy. And we could develop it if we could be the market leaders in this easily and create millions of jobs. Bitumen. This stuff. Please stop falling for the lies. It's time for us as Yorubas and Igbos and Middle Belt to go for self-determination via referendum. Enough of this nonsense. We can no longer be part of contraption Nigeria. Let the Fulanis keep the name Nigeria for themselves. We're going. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. If you get the broadcast and it resonates with you, please subscribe to us. Subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. We'd very much appreciate your support. As you're watching this broadcast, we'd like you to please send it around to people. Make this go far and wide. We are pinpointing the solutions. When we go our own way in Oduduwa Nation, for example, there are 3 places we have: Ondo State, Lagos, Ogun State, with bitumen. Bitumen, we have them in Ondo alone, we have 42 billion tons. Enough to fill our roads and have more than enough to sell to countries around the world by way of job creation for our people. Enough of this nonsense. We can stand on our own as Yoruba people. Likewise the Igbos, likewise the Middle Belt. We are tired of being slaves in our own land. Join us in this struggle. We must go for referendum now. No more excuses. These people are oppressing us in our own land. Stop praying for your oppressors. Nigeria is oppressing Southerners. Enough of this nonsense. RIP One Nigeria. We must go for self-determination and referendum now. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you and goodbye.